in my opinion, and everyone's going to have a different opinion, I think the biggest bang for your buck with automations is really implementing an onboarding campaign. So members, we know members are more likely to renew after year one if they're engaged within the first 7 to 10 days of membership. So when you hear that stat, you're probably asking yourselves, what kind of missed opportunities are there if I'm not guiding them through those crucial first days? So I'm going to try to paint a better picture of what University Risk Management Insurance Association's evolution of their onboarding campaign looked like. I've been following and working with Teresa Ransdell over there for a couple of years, and she so graciously has kind of let me have a front seat to follow along her journey of launching and caring for her onboarding campaign. So this particular onboarding campaign that I want to call out works for URMIA because they are constantly revising, they're constantly reviewing. The onboarding campaign sends emails at day 1, day 7, day 14, day 21, and then once a month for the next 9 months. And I'm sure half of you are probably jotting that down because I get that question all the time. Amber probably does too. They say, how many emails should I have in my onboarding campaign? And I always say, start small, because what works for you doesn't necessarily, or works for someone else doesn't necessarily work for you. In fact, last year at our Super Forum, I called out one of my colleagues and I did a presentation, and we called out all the different onboarding campaigns that 3 different associations were doing. One was, I think, 60 days, because they recognized upon analyzing that members were kind of trailing off and not participating in any of the emails or engaging in any of the emails past that 60-day mark. And so they have success with just a 60-day campaign, where URMIA's campaign is set to 10 months, right? And so they are seeing great success with it at the 10-month mark. But one of the best things that URMIA does with the onboarding emails, number one, is she reverses the conversation. And I don't see this that often. And I highly suggest that. So all throughout the emails, she solicits feedback from members to understand, 1, are they well cared for? And 2, to be a sounding board for them. So she asks questions like, why did you join URMIA? How are your expectations being met so far? And you're probably thinking, well, how is she gathering that data? It does not have to be complex. In fact, she has a reply to me here, and she gets those in her inbox, and she just kind of looks at them. You could certainly have a survey. You could have it fill out a form. There's all different types of options for that, but it does not have to be, you don't have to make it harder than it actually is. Just understanding, are these emails working for you? Are you getting everything that you need? The other thing that she does that's unique is she treats the onboarding journey like she's a tour guide. So I like to see, and what I see from her is that all of the emails throughout those 10 months-ish are digestible. They're short and sweet. They are positioned that she is kind of the tour guide for guiding them along on that member journey. And she's driving them to, back to places like their website, their community, showing them all of the member benefits, and they are taking advantage of that. And again, they are responding to her in the feedback loops as well. So the one thing that she does in terms of analyzing and revising is she's reviewing that data on a regular basis. She sets reminders in her Outlook to go in and just take a look. She reviews the analytics. She looks at their hottest topics in their community. She reviews the feedback loops. And what's interesting to me, since I revisited with her this year as opposed to last year when we initially started talking about onboarding campaigns, her analytics show something very unique, and that is that more seasoned industry newbies, so new to their org, but not necessarily new to the industry, do not open and click as much as those who are newer to the profession. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know, Amber, if you have any ideas of what you might do with that type of feedback, but that's something that I was like, that's interesting. That might be an opportunity to branch those types of members through, some sort of different campaign or perhaps reach them in a different way than just email. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. I wondered also if she's found that data, it'd be interesting to run it separate and maybe just really evaluate the content of these people are like, oh yeah, I know everything probably. It's like, I've been here, done that.
Yeah.
So where's the pieces in the emails where they'd be like, yeah, been here, done that we can chop off and see if then it helps them guide better. But that is very
I
interesting.
thought that was super interesting too. The other thing that was very interesting to me is that the analytics are showing that nobody that makes it past the first 3 messages is actually unsubscribing, which I find falls in line with that stat of those who take advantage in the first 7 to 10 days are then hooked, right? So once they get past those first 3 emails, they're actually engaging with the emails and they're not unsubscribing. So I thought that was super interesting.